It's so stupid, it's positively brilliant. The Brilliant Idiots Podcast.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Brilliant Idiots. This is Andrew Schultz, and my co-host is currently basking on the beaches of Grenada, and so I've brought two of my favorite people to have conversations with, talk shit with, the assholes themselves, my flagrant two brethren.
Yeah.
This is Akaash Singh.
What's up?
Real life Kaz in the building, answering for each other. You see that chemistry?
Time we was on sync.
Yo, earlier they were on sync watching a girl talk about wanting to fuck a roller coaster, and now it's just saying hello. Maybe we're too open, guys. Maybe we're allowing too much. You know what I mean? I just sent them this video. They watched it. Maybe some of you guys have seen it, but it's of a woman. Basically, it's a YouTube clip of people who are in love with inanimate objects. And this one woman she looks like Bill Belichick is in love with a roller coaster. And I'm not making this up, right? No.
Legit. She's not like, oh, I love riding the roller coaster. No, like legitimately, romantically.
No, phenomenal point. Which it's like
somebody's like, oh, I'm in love with. Yeah, I love Nitro. I love Rolling Thunder. It's fun as hell. But no, this woman is legitimately in romantic and I guess sexual love.
Use the term woman very
loosely. That is a great point. Like anytime you have these people who are in love with things, they don't have the appearance like they could get in love with humans.
Like humans could love them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's like they're always asking
all the communities. Like she looked like she tried to go lesbian. She tried to go trans, and all of them were just like, nah.
Nah, we're good,
It's
bro.
like, fuck it, Space Mountain. Let's go. It's finally someone who accepts me, as long as I'm over 62 inches.
Oh, jeez.
Really, there's no standard for acceptance, I guess, from a roller coaster. But it's odd to see. Okay, so my issue with this shit is, clearly this woman is mentally ill, right?
Clearly, yeah.
But
what if we're mentally ill?
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? It's like we're all mentally ill in some capacity, but like, I guess if it doesn't hurt anybody, you just let people be mentally ill.
No, I don't agree with this shit. I don't like this idea. You could just, first of all, this is rape.
I was about to say, like,
roller coaster.
That roller coaster is not consenting.
The roller coaster is not.
Plants. The plants
First of all,
these fucking cucks who are all about like this whole movement. Don't let somebody fucking inanimate object.
Yeah. That's true. But then again, like, have riding roller coasters ever been consensual?
I mean, that they're serving their purpose, though. They're serving their purpose. They're built to, have people ride them. Kind of like how water is like made for us to drink and food is made for us to eat. Like, so they're serving their purpose. Right?
I'm not going to give them like the right to consent.
No.
If I want to fucking do whatever I want on a roller coaster, I'm going to do it.
I want to screw up.
Yeah, this table is just here. I've never asked this table of what it really wanted for itself in life. You know,
fine, but you would be a roller coaster rapist, and that's what this person is. This person, because I still don't know if it's a woman.
I guess.
I mean, like a person who like has a sexual attraction to an inanimate object. Are we just assuming their gender now? Do they even call themselves male or female?
Oh, maybe they think they're a roller coaster.
Maybe they think they're a roller coaster too.
She identifies as a roller coaster.
I identify as roller coaster.
All I'm saying is, like, at a certain point in time, like when people are crazy, do we have a responsibility to just go in and say, "Hey, you're crazy. Please stop this." Like, and we do that if you're hurting yourself, right? Like with anorexic people, they go, I look in the mirror, I see a fat person. We go to them, "Hey, you're crazy. You're not seeing a fat person. You are very skinny and you're going to kill yourself."
Yeah.
Right? But this woman shows up to Six Flags Great Adventure every single year and then just sits underneath the roller coaster and rubs the roller coaster grease on her face and breasts like she did in the video. She said to the roller coaster, "I want your," go to Jiffy Lube. You can get all the fluids. They're right there at Jiffy Lube if you want. It's just a weird thing.
Like, I couldn't even make it through the whole video. I was uncomfortable.
He was getting, and I love watching people watch weird shit because y'all are watching the video at the same time, and I'm just sitting back here like a voyeur. And I saw Akaash's. The line is, she goes, "This is very personal, but when I'm thinking about him at home, him, by the way, the roller coaster at home, and I'm just sitting there, and when I climax, I go, I just want your fluids." And then Akaash goes, his eyebrows creased. Like, like I knew what was going on in his head. It's like, did this Pat looking bitch just say, I want your fluids to a roller coaster?
Oh, fuck.
But it's weird. You know what it is? It's like, I guess on my own experience watching that video, it's like, I'm just not a fan of PDA. Period. Like, like I can see Akaash is like Akaash has a girlfriend and they're probably super cool. But if they come in here and talk about like I want your fluids, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna turn away.
Yo,
it's like
stop holding hands.
Yeah,
yo.
like I'm like I don't need to see that. Like, bro, get a room. Like y'all got it. And it's like it's doubly uncomfortable when the woman looks like Bill Belichick and she's talking about a roller coaster.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, oh, I'm good. I don't need any of that shit.
Yeah, it is an awkward. It is an awkward.
I couldn't even make it through the whole video. I was like,
no, there's
like 2 girls, 1 cup for me.
Yeah, the 2 girls. Oh my! I wish I was shitting like that. For those of you who have been following me on Instagram,
that's a segue, goddamn.
Yeah, I have like daydreams about 2 girls, 1 cup. Not anything sexual of it, but just being able to shit in that capacity.
Having that kind of bowel movement.
Oh my god, just so beautiful.
How long has it been now?
Well, here's the thing. I have 1 shit a day. And it's a bad... It feels like, you ever watch like the County Monte Cristo, you know, like that prison meal where it's just like a metal plate and they throw it under your cell door and it's just, you don't even know what it is. That's what the shit feels like.
Oh,
I don't get relief.
Oh, it's just a splash.
Yeah, it's just like boom, whatever. Like I don't see any of the food I ate in it. It's just like, I like seeing remnants a little bit, you know, like of a meal, like a lettuce or like a mushroom or something like that.
So that's what you've been complaining about for 4 months? There hasn't been enough corn in
Not 4 months, not 4 months.
4 days.
Ever since I went to the Holy Land. Yeah.
Since you went to Jerusalem, your problem is you haven't seen enough lettuce in your shit.
Yeah.
When's the last?
I mean, it sounds kind of little, bro. I shit 3 times a day. We spoke about this on Flavor Tour. I shit 3 times a day. Now I'm down to 1, and it's not one that I'm proud of.
Okay, fair enough.
So you know.
So when's the last time you had like a non-breaker, like one that just straight down?
Oh, like a coil, like a little cobra.
Yeah, those are the best ones. By the way.
Oh, the best. I'll send. I'll take pictures of that.
Okay.
There's one.
I feel better about myself after I see that.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. I have one picture of a shit on my phone, and this is from recently. It was from my trip to Israel, and that's why I knew I was starting to have the bowel movement problems. I was so backed up, and I was on an all Italia flight. To Israel. By the way, real quick segue. Intense security going to Israel. Here's the thing. I get it. I love it. I'm not one of these guys that's against the security, right? But I'm getting grilled at security, and I bought extra legroom, and I told the lady, I'm like, no, I got the extra legroom, and she didn't understand. I'm like, look, I plan on staying on the flight the whole way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I bought the legroom, I want comfort till we get there. Dog. Like, I'm not going extra legroom and then blowing the shit up an hour into the flight, right?
Well, to be fair, like if you do cop the extra legroom, like you might as well, like if it is gonna be your last flight, you might as well blow the bank. It's like I ain't not gonna need this extra money
in the fucking caves in Afghanistan, and I'm gonna take that $200 and feed them for a year and put it into 6 more inches of leg room.
I'm telling you what the TSA should do. They should tell every airline, if you really think somebody looks suspicious, upgrade them to first class. There's no way they're taking that flight. It's like, yo, this is
Toy Story 3? They make Toy Story 3! I did the Toy Story 3!
Bro, if it's international, they got the life lessons.
Oh man.
He gonna fall asleep with the bomb on him. They're gonna wake him up. Sir, we're about to land. Oh no! One Toy Story 3 and I fell asleep. I don't know.
It's on a Sunday though.
Oh my god.
Yo, that's a great ass idea.
That's true.
That's how you stop.
Put them in first class, man.
So there was mad Hasidic Jews on the flight, and these motherfuckers they're like the worst to travel with, bro, because they pray the whole fucking time. And like I have a tricky relationship with that because on one level it's uncomfortable because they're just standing and like rocking back and forth, but then the other level they're trying to make the plane land, so it's like I can't hate you for doing a prayer thing, but the one thing is their hats You know, like there's like Jews that have these huge hats.
Yeah. There's a name for it, but it's slipping my mind right now. But.
If you knew the name for that, man, you're the most cultured man in the world. That's incredible, son. I just call them the big Jew hats. Yeah, bro. Let me tell you something. Okay. No overhead space.
Oh, Jesus.
These guys got the whole overhead space locked with the hats.
So they don't take it off in the plane. They just
no. They put it right up in the overhead, but they have a special plastic case. That's made. They don't have a collapsible like magician hat.
Nah.
Which would
so
be perfect.
it doesn't fold down. It's just like it just comes in the shape of the hat.
No, bro. It's God's hat.
You
know what I mean? They're not playing. It's literally, it looks like that. They put it in.
Like I'm thinking, like fucking, Top Cat. Remember Top Cat back in the day?
Yeah,
when, like you fucking take off the hat and it would like you flip it and it would like expand.
Exactly. That's what I wish they had.
That's what I was thinking it was. So it's just like a shape. The shape
it's
of the hat.
It's always that way. They haven't come to the next.
That's tight. That's kind of tight.
It is, but I forgot what we were talking about. That made me.
You're talking about your Israel shits and
Oh, so I'm on this Alitalia flight. I have one little espresso. I go to the bathroom. I've never done this before. I took 2 separate shits in one bowel movement. And I knew it was that because there were distinct colors. I had a green bottom and then a brown top.
That's actually scientifically fascinating.
So when you're there for like 30 minutes and then knocking on the door, you need to feel like you did something.
And this is on the plane.
So I'm going to Israel. I've been in the bathroom for 30 minutes.
Okay.
The fucking flight attendants are freaking out. All the Jewish people are freaking out on the flight. I'm like, yo, my man, take a break from the landing prayer and pray I can get some hard stool because my shit's coming out green. Looks like baklava.
Not for nothing. That is scientifically fascinating. Half green, half poop.
Something was going.
Looking like the Ugandan flag. It just looks crazy, dog. I gotta see that.
That's hilarious.
I have to see that now, though.
It was funny. I'm just laughing because I got no clue what that flag looks like. I can't even refute it.
It seems like it would be legit. So it was green and brown.
I'm gonna get you guys.
Oh no, that was close. It's yellow and red, but there's another.
I'm gonna get
Uganda, yeah, green and yellow, but blue.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get you guys a picture.
It's all good, close enough.
You took a picture of the shit?
Yes.
I don't know if I want to see that.
Wait, come on, bro. It's beautiful.
I will say this though.
I do want to see it.
I've taken a picture.
Son, it's 2 completely different types of shit too. The top one looks like the green oatmeal, and then the bottom looks like those. The green.
Oh God! Why? Oh my God!
No, the bottom look like kefta. Like a kebab, the bottom.
I can't make it that far.
She looks like shawarma, though.
I was going to Israel, son. It's like my booty was ready for the Middle East.
Oh, my God. That's disgusting.
Fuck, I almost threw up.
Oh, God. Anyway. I'm good.
Yo, Alex. Hey, man, it is what it is. Distinctly gross.
Alex, are you going to add that in post-production?
Do not.
Please don't add this shit.
Everybody turn our shit off immediately.
Mad thumbs down on YouTube. Hell no.
You take this thumb, you shove it right up your ass. That's
everyday struggle numbers, man. just dozens of thumbs down.
Is everyday struggle back?
It's back, but like apparently the YouTube numbers is looking terrible. Like,
really?
Like specifically, they went from like getting like 800, 900,000 views an episode to like 10,000 and like hundreds of thousands of thumbs down. Like it's bad. Like
Hold on.
Like that joke, it's crazy, dog. Like I saw some screenshot that was getting floated around from YouTube. Like you can check the numbers too. It's just.
Did you give Everyday Struggle?
You give it exactly a year, right?
Well, no, I said 2 months. Star said 6 months, and it lasted 7.
Wow.
Yeah, we were close. So wait, the screenshot going around is the 600,000 one, like if they lost complex loss.
Well, I think like the last episode they did with Joe, I think Jeezy was on it, and I think it did like 800, 900,000 views. So last time I looked, this was like before Christmas, and then like they had another episode with my guy Carl Cherry. Shout out to Carl Cherry. This is nothing against him. He's an Apple Music curator and stuff like that, and it did like no views, like a fraction of the views with the Joe stuff, and had like at least like 11K thumbs down. Wow, it was just bad. I was just like, wow.
Joe Budden stands took down
bruh, dead ass. Like Joe Budden stands are legit, bro. Like he has like a cult-like following. Like they are not fucking with
He's good at what he does.
You know how passionate of a fan you got to be to listen to Joe Budden's music?
Nah, I fuck with
Joe Budden's music though.
Joe one song. Joe got good at. Joe can spit, man. You can't say
talented.
He can't spit. Joe can rap.
He's talented.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Technically, that's a great word.
Yeah.
He's a technically phenomenal rapper. But you gotta love the culture and love rap and love Joe. And I'm just Indian, and that's not.
This is not gonna roll.
It would look weird.
If you were like a huge Joe stan.
Yeah, just like hip-hop head, fucking breath control and all that.
He's a beast when it comes to that type of stuff. And you know, and that's what I always tell people. I'm like, dog, it's not about getting as many people as possible. I don't care if 2 million people listen to our shit passively, but if you have like 100,000 that are aggressive, dedicated fans, you're good. You're good for the rest of your life. All you need to do is worry about those motherfuckers.
So true.
Yeah.
There's a guy, he's one of these like crazy, like conservative trolls. His name is Mike Cernovich. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of, when I was on Twitter, he's a wild follow on Twitter because he would kind of drop news stories before other people. It was interesting that he would have like this access, political shit. But he said something interesting about specificity. He's like, I don't care if 300 million people hate me. If 1 million people love me, I'm a millionaire.
That's all you need.
And it's so true. Like what you said is like, we often try, and I'm sure I'm guilty of this, like to, I don't know about appease everybody, but bring everybody in instead of really curating the people that we have and establishing like a deep bond with those people and want them to do anything like a fucking cult, man. And that's who wins.
Yeah, that's who wins.
Shout out to the Jews.
I was
wow. When I was I'm not gonna lie, when I was in Israel, it put a lot of things in perspective. Like, one thing that I've noticed about Judaism is different than other religions. And you grew up kind of religious, Cass?
Yeah, definitely.
And Akaash grew up religious, but Hindu.
Yeah.
And it was, now question, are you born Hindu no matter what?
Yeah, you're born Hindu.
Okay.
Like, I've heard people say, the thing about it is dynamic, so it's like changing.
Sure.
Cool, but also gets confusing.
Yeah.
So I've heard you can't convert to Hinduism. You're just born Hindu.
You're born.
Okay.
So... And that's the same thing with Judaism, right? It's like you come out of your mom's vagina, that makes you Jewish. If you don't, you're not Jewish. And there is a conversion process, but the shit is tough. Yeah. I don't even know if they wanted it that way back in the day. It might be like some
Mari Stoudemire. You get Mari Stoudemire one day on the show.
Mari, come on. You know, maybe he got some Ethiopian roots. You know what I mean?
Something like that, yeah.
But one of the things that I noticed about, because I asked this rabbi, I was like, how have Jews been able to accept modernity so well? Like, y'all got all the technological advances. I'm walking around Israel. There's gay dudes everywhere. Like, why has your religion been so accepting to it? And he spoke about, like, he thinks, you know, religion is this gift from God to serve us for happiness and that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting things he said. But also something dawned on me, like, they don't got to prove they're Jewish. Like, if you're a Christian, Muslim, like, part of you has to prove it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's like you could lose that shit. Like, people even, they go, are you being a good Christian? Are you you know, you can't lose Jewish. It's
like paying
they
tithes
cut your
and
fucking
shit,
dick and blood in, blood out. You know what I mean? Like, that's it, bro. Like, that there's
no stronger gang than religion.
It's
like,
true.
By far, man. Like, it's the police and religion. Like, there's no police is second. Religion is like right on top of that. And like there's strong ties, man. Like, it's, and you hit the nail on the head, bro. Like, it's like you have to, in other religions, I guess, like in Catholicism or Christianity or all that type of stuff, like there's things that you have to do to like earn your Christianity.
Yeah, you got to do work, like in...
You got to get baptized, you got to go to Sunday school, you got to learn the commandments, you got to learn all that type of stuff. And it's like, you know, and there's this Bible that's like, if you're not living by this, you're not being a good Christian. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I guess what you're trying to say is in Judaism, it's like, no, it's just...
Like, you can be non-religious and Jewish. Like, there are plenty of people who relate tribally.
Yeah.
But do not relate to the religious stuff at all. Like, literally atheist Jews. I know that sounds wild when you hear it because you're like, wait, isn't Judaism a religion? How can you be atheist and religious?
Benji. We know Benji. I think he's atheist.
He might be, maybe Benji, but like it's very common. So a lot of our friends will be, and it's an interesting dynamic because they're buying into, what the closest thing I could relate it to is being Italian American.
Okay.
like they have two identities, Italian Americans, a lot of times.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I have my food, I have my culture, I have my words and shit like that relate to the homeland. But then I'm also an American and I do this kind of stuff like that. But that shit goes away after 2 generations.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say about India. That's exactly what we are, Italians. I think Nigerians are probably the same.
Yeah.
After generation, the connection to the food and all that gets weaker, and the connection to America gets stronger.
How the fuck have Jews managed to keep the... Son, it's like Puerto Ricans leave their homeland. Go.
It's persecution.
Interesting.
Don't like you for whatever reason. I still don't understand it, but people just don't seem to like Jewish people a lot of times. And it seems like every 100 or so years, they're like, let's just kill all of them.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And if you're Jewish, you learn, like, we stick together, man. We don't got nobody else.
Interesting. Yeah, you are... It's like what in the Alien movie. Like anytime aliens come to take over the world, right? The first phone call is America to whoever country they're supposed to be at war with. So in like the 80s, it was Russia. Like, should we put it down to take on the aliens? You know? Or now it's China. It's always the first, let's work together, you know?
I kind of feel like that's the only thing that can really like stop a nuclear holocaust right now.
Son, that's it.
Is the aliens. Once the aliens come through, it's like, all right, we got all these nukes. Like, we got to use them on these.
That's the first call to Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, bro.
How far do those missiles go?
Shit. And I ain't beat, man. Y'all saw that shit with the SpaceX, the Elon Musk in LA?
Oh, yeah.
And they said, they were just testing SpaceX. I ain't beat, dog. I'm not beat.
I got a
Those
guy.
are the fucking aliens, bro.
So I got a guy who works for SpaceX that listens to this show.
Okay.
And he was going to take me for a tour of SpaceX.
Okay.
And he broke it down for me. I'll actually look for the tweet, but it is. He got the funniest handle.
All right, so why did they... Okay, I got questions then.
So he goes, I'll just read you what he said. Yo, man, I heard the shout out you did in the last Brilliant Idiots. I appreciate that, man. I can't share many details on the previous SpaceX launch for security purposes, but I just want to let you know that we don't launch any rockets from LA. The rocket everyone saw and posted online actually launched 6 hours north of LA. We've launched from that same location at least 5 times by now, but the public never gets to visually see the rocket because typically we launch in the daytime, so the rocket is less visible. And the reason why Los Angeles could see the launch from 168 miles away from the launch site is because jet/rocket fuel tends to glow brightly in the night sky, but you can't see the rocket fuel during the daytime launches. And he goes, if you would have checked SpaceX Twitter, he said if you would have checked SpaceX Twitter, you would have seen that we're going to launch because we're one of the most public and open aerospace companies in the world.
A likely story, my guy. A likely story, my guy.
I don't believe
it. The fuck? Why? All right, first off, I'm not the biggest space expert or whatever, right? Yeah. But every single space launch I've ever seen...
Jew hats, African flags, but not space stuff.
I don't know a lot of space shit, but I've never in my life seen any rocket tested at night. Ever. Right? Secondly, the way the shit...
Damn, I have a bad joke.
The way
I might have to talk to the Japanese about that one.
God. All I'm saying
comedian! Stop groaning in the room.
It's fine.
They were groaning on these fucking...
I gotta groan. I gotta be the conscious of this thing.
All right, fair enough.
But it's the way the shit separated, it looked like it was... Okay, a lot of people think it was aliens coming. Nah, I think it's aliens leaving, bro.
Yo, you are wild.
I think it's like, I think they see what the fuck is going on. The aliens have been here forever.
This Trump got crazy.
This Trump motherfucker is nuts. We out. We're going back to Venus.
Thank you to Trump for getting out the invaders, if that's the case.
But there wasn't bothering nobody. They was chilling.
That's a good ass point.
But there was
the aliens trying to dip.
Dog.
Think about it. And how you leave Fast and Furious style. Like, how you take the Nas and have that shit fired out the back of your Honda spaceship.
Yeah, they got here mad discreetly, and then they're leaving
in a
ball of flames.
Yeah. Nah, man. I'm not beat, dog. They were out. They see this Trump dude is wild. How do you think we got? You think humans came up with all the flash shit we got? Do you think humans came up with Xbox?
Yes.
Apple. Fuck all that shit.
No, I think it's possible for both to be true. I do think life exists outside of Earth. I think it just makes sense logically. Yeah. But I also think it's possible. Space, honestly, SpaceX makes me believe in aliens more than anything.
Facts.
Elon Musk gotta be an alien.
He's
There's
gotta
no
know what the
human being that smart. His face a little pulled back like a cockroach in Men in Black. My man is an alien.
People think aliens gonna look like fucking like have big circular eyes and heads and shit. Like, nah, bro, they gonna look like me, you, and him.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna look like us.
I'm telling you, bro.
Bro, you go from one continent to the next continent, we don't even look the same. How you gonna go to another planet light years away and they look just like
skin tone, bro?
So you think they got Asian aliens?
It's just
white aliens, black aliens?
It is, yes. Absolutely. All that shit. I think,
I don't think we could comprehend what it could be. So I think it could be anything. But
it's like our only...
you really just think life exists only on Earth?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to know? All right. Yes, but I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Currently, I think that we're the only planet in our solar system with life. Because the random occurrence of events that it takes to create life, these planets bumping into each other and this molecule going here and da-da-da-da. Yeah. Like whatever that shit takes in the billions of years that it takes, even if there is another planet that has it somewhere, we don't have the ability to get there with our current technology or the time with our lifespan. The biggest problem is our lifespan. We live 100 years tops. Motherfuckers live 100 light years away.
Yeah.
We can't get there. So, okay, maybe there's aliens somewhere else, but functionally, are there if we can't get there?
But like, how would we know?
Look,
how would we know?
All right, fine. There's aliens. We're aliens to somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm fine with that.
Is an American human construct. It's like, dog, like we're alien to something.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
UFOs are our spaceships to someone else.
Yeah.
When we go in the air and somebody sees us, they're like, "Yo, what is that?"
Exactly.
That's a UFO. That being said, I think this is just a regular rocket. But shout out to aliens for picking America, though. The best motherfucking country in the world. Ain't no aliens stopping in Russia.
They know we got
cheating on the Olympics.
Breast implants. They
only got what?
They know we got tacos and breast implants. They knew what time it was. They was like, fuck, we going to LA.
If you were an alien, where would you land?
Where would I land?
Specifically. You can get as specific as you want to, actually.
Specifically Los Angeles, California.
Word?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the only place I can blend in and nobody's going to trip.
I go right to Jerusalem. Fuck everybody's shit up. Because all three religions are there thinking they're right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like we're land right to the Gaza Strip.
I land I go land right in the middle of the the wall, the mosque, the kotel, whatever you want to call it. I land right in the middle of that square, and I just fucking
like you remember all this religion I was talking about? We here, motherfuckers.
I go on the highest thing and just yell,
should...
Mortal Kombat! Fuck everybody up. Let's go. Start swinging.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway,
shout out to the aliens, man. Y'all cool. Stay cool, man.
Yeah, you guys come here.
Continue making iPhone X's for us and shit.
Yeah.
Yes, aliens, not Chinese slaves.
Yeah.
that's how we have to get around consciously buying slave machine phones.
Listen,
is we got to tell ourselves it's alien technology.
Aliens come up with the technology. All right.
And then the Chinese slaves
just make it.
And then we send our outrage tweets in clear conscience.
They found one brave ass alien who made it all the way to America and like, dog, I don't even want to kill y'all, man. We got these phones and shit. Like they do your face, you can turn it into emojis. It's awesome. They're like, all right, cool. And then now they got a bunch of people just making them for them, dog.
That's right. In great conditions and everything.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, he's probably like the whack alien. Like he's probably like the outcast alien who didn't make it in like his home planet. Yeah. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the Earth. But there's a bunch of dummies here. Like they're gonna treat me like a king. You know what I'm saying?
The Columbus alien.
Exactly. It's like when you're trying to act and you can't make it in New York.
But why wouldn't they
just like fuck it?
That's who Elon Musk is, family, a Martian reject. Martian flunky. Came over here, a fucking genius. Yeah.
Fuck.
I see it. Robots are coming. They don't see it.
So
the robots are definitely coming, dog.
Well, the robots are here.
They're here, actually.
I mean, I read this article and I posted it in notes to you guys to talk about today, but it was on Reason.com. Shout out to Reason.com, and it said, "Are they gonna make driving your own car illegal?" Now, once everybody has a driverless car, you driving yourself is a liability. For real. Yeah. Because you make mistakes. You look at your phone. You want to watch TV. You want to have a conversation. You're drunk. Your car isn't, and it computes a million different possibilities in every single moment. Even let's say you are on a head-on collision, and there's 4 kids on this lane, and there's 8 adults in this lane. It would take us a second to go, should I go left or should I go right? It already calculates the death. It calculates everything going on here.
Slippery slope.
Are they still trying to work that out, exactly what to do in those situations?
I imagine, yeah.
It's a real weird moral question. How do you program this thing? What do you program it to kill the 4 kids or the 8 people? Or kill the driver?
Because think about it like this. If 4 kids are right there, that's sad. And there's only 1 adult over there, you would say kill the adult, but what if that adult is mom's? Them kids gotta go.
That's why I say it's a slippery slope, man.
Them kids it's not even slippery. That shit is a lot of traction. I'm accelerating. You know what I mean? That's mom's.
No, unless the mom has 5 or more kids, then it's...
I'm talking about my mom.
Oh, your mom.
My mom right there. No, I'm turning, All so I'm saying is like...
I mean, they lack emotional discernance. So it's just like, well, technically they'll be like that leads to eventually like the robot apocalypse that we're all talking about eventually.
Where
it's just like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
They're gonna calculate in their minds, just like they calculated like proper traffic routes and shit. They're gonna calculate in their minds like, we gotta save the earth. How are we gonna do it?
Bang.
We gotta kill at least 2 million humans.
At least 2 million. That's what I've been saying.
And then it's gonna be like, all right, what the fuck do we do? Like, they're right, and the robot are probably right.
Oh god. Dude, this just
I'm telling you.
I always talk about being objective and removing feelings and removing emotion from decision-making situations, but the only reason we're still around is because of that emotional component.
Yeah.
Like you said, they lack emotional discernance. Yeah. A real intelligent system that's completely objective would not prop up certain parts of society, would not prop up countries, give countries millions of dollars.
They're going to be programmed. They're going to be programmed to
oh my god,
sustain the resources of this earth. And they're going to be like, what do we do to sustain the resources of this earth?
What's killing all the resources?
And that's exactly. I had literally a 3-hour discussion at IHOP. I talked to you about this dude. He's the smartest guy I know. He's a friend of the family. His name is Ankit Patel. Shout out to Ankit.
Friend of the family, huh?
He's literally
Did he touch you? What happened?
No, he wouldn't have been old enough to touch me. We were both kids around the same time, and then he just accomplished way more in his life than me. But he's literally...
So he molested you that way.
He molested me in accomplishments. He's molested me in accomplishments. He's like really savagely raped me in accomplishments. He Weinstein me in
You are his roller coaster. Okay, go on.
But he's like literally developing a technology to give robots vision. This guy's fucking brilliant.
Okay.
And I was like, why? This whole thing everybody's talking about, robots are going to kill us. He's just like, no. And his reasoning is like, humans have gotten smarter throughout history. Okay. And as we've gotten smarter, overall, we've gotten less violent, we've gotten less interested in those things, we get interested in other things. Yeah. He thinks robots will be so smart that they're not going to be interested in violence and killing and stuff like that. They're going to be interested in other things and making it all work. I said...
The robot's going to kill him first.
I'm still...
The robot's going to kill him first. He's like, he's on to us. Chop.
You see this dumb motherfucker talking about me won't kill?
So just little robots.
I'm doing this for you, Akaash.
That's the first thing you do, man. When it's time to start a war, you kill the first person in line just to let them know we ain't fucking around.
Yo, real talk.
And that's what I kept saying to him, though, is humans, I think about that scene in The Matrix. Remember where he's like, humans are a virus. They go from place to place, using up all the resources, killing it, and then moving on. Every like logical thing that has power is going to look at that and say, get rid of these people. They're ruining everything.
Yo, it is, the way you said that humans are a virus, and I mentioned this book last week on Brilliant Idiots, but a guy named Yoav Harari is a Israeli scientist, wrote this book called Sapiens. You guys should check it out. It's fucking brilliant. Just the history of humanity, right?
Right.
But one of the things he talks about is we evolved faster than the environment. So the environment usually affects our evolution. For example, there was an animal that was a giraffe before a giraffe had a long neck. Trees were tall, and the only places the leaves were up there, the fruits that the giraffes ate were high. So the giraffes with the long neck eventually lived, and the short next one died, and then they eventually developed these longer necks. Humans stretched our own neck.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like we did it so fast, the trees couldn't catch up to us.
Right.
So that's why we're destroying all these environments, because we're so fucking savvy, we're so intelligent that we can make changes before the environment. Like the environment can go, yo, I'm going to get really cold. And we're like, all right, bet, we got fur. You know what I mean? You can't kill us off fast enough to save yourself. So it is kind of weird to look at ourselves like that. And if, like you said, a robot recognized, yo, the real problem is these dudes, unless we can program them for our survival. Kaz, like,
not gonna work, dog. Like, dog. Like, you can't give an all-knowing, emotionless thing. That's literally what separates us from like the animals and the robots and the machines. We have a brain that makes us do things that, you know, defy logic, which is whether that's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? And if you program a robot to do, if you give a robot that, you know what I'm saying, and you strip them of that emotional logistics, like, it's not going. It makes no sense to keep us around. Like, if their program, if their sole purpose is the sustaining of Earth or whatever, like, we are the number one. Like, efficiency
is their sole purpose.
Exactly.
And we're inefficient because we're emotional.
We're inefficient, imperfect beings, all of us.
And beyond that, he had a theory that he's, I guess, trying to, I don't know, publish or whatever, but he was saying, like, this idea that robots won't have emotion, he's like, nah, I think people developed emotions for survival reasons. Like, I don't think necessarily they're born with emotions. The brain is just a computer. And then over time, people would walk by lines, and then lines would start eating the people. And then over time, people developed fear. Like, oh, I need to be afraid of certain things to survive. Robots, as they learn more, will develop emotions. And we're just going to have them doing all this bitch work. Hey, man, drive me here. Hey, man, clean my house. Hey, man, do this job for me. And they're not at some point going to be like, you know what? Fuck these guys.
I think you're talking about illegal immigrants right now. And it's a little insensitive. And I feel offended by it. And I'm triggered. I'm highly triggered. Akaash.
Listen, if we could build a wall to keep out the robots, I'm into that. I'm into that.
So they start leapfrogging them shit like coming down and running full sprints.
I thought it'd be high enough. Apparently it's not high enough.
Fuck all that shit, man. They're gonna kill us.
So, damn, man.
Like, how many lions how many of us, like, human lions, like, get eaten before the robots are like, okay, we should not do that anymore? Like,
no, they kill all of us.
Yeah. Well, at least a smooth 3 million of us is getting taken out by robots. At least.
So the tricky thing about, like, that fear makes perfect sense. Like, a lion is a good fear. The thing that humans have that animals don't have is that we can believe in things that aren't real and be afraid of it. Now, regardless of how you guys feel about religion or not, some people might not agree on religion, right? You guys might not agree on religion. You have your beliefs, you have your beliefs, right? So to Akaash, Kaz, your beliefs are myth, right? And to Kaz, Akaash, your beliefs are myth, right? So, but humans have this ability to believe shit that is not true, even if it hurts them. Think about it. There are those people who join a cult and they all drink the drink because the comet is coming and they think that's going to go. It's that ability, that connectivity to come together for, like, this cause is greater than ourselves. Go to war. Like, there are humans that just go to war and they're like, why? Well, we have to protect our country. Well, what's a country?
From what? What's a country? How's it your country?
Well, how's it your, like, but it's amazing that we could just, like, I was even talking about this last week, like, even something like capitalism or, like, it's just made up.
It's all made up.
Everything is
all made the fuck up, dog. Like, that's the shit that's crazy about this whole life thing, man. It's like, who really owns this shit?
Nobody owns this shit, son.
Nobody.
I own an apartment in Manhattan. It's in the air. If that building goes down, what I own?
Nothing.
I can't just claim the fucking air.
Like, if a 12-foot, if the Sentinels from the X-Men come, just snatch your apartment. It's like, it's my apartment now. And they're like, no, I own that apartment. Like, no, you don't. It's mine.
I'm honestly gonna get a drone and just fly it there all day. Just to, if it's just air, that's all I have. Just let motherfuckers know.
This whole thing is just built on agreements. I don't remember what I was going to say, but the last thing he brought up was an interesting theory at the end. He said two things. One, I think he was kidding to fuck with me, and I really did fuck with me. He said, this is about to fuck with you. No. This is going to fuck with y'all, too. He said,
already molested you, now he fucking with you. I'm going to beat this dude up when I see him.
No. Listen to this theory, because it's like, oh, fuck, this sounds like it could happen theory. He's like, listen, worst case scenario, I don't think they're gonna kill us. Humans will be like pets for robots. Like, they'll be like dogs. Dogs got pretty good lives, right? I think he's kind of kidding, but it fucked with me. I was like, yo.
Yo, you see, that just kind of stuck with me.
I'm reconciling how dope that would be because there'd be a lot of times I was too lazy to take my dog out and I just walk to the door and then like let him pee and then wait there. And I'm trying like if you got a good owner, you're good.
I mean, this kind of listen. Kind of sounds kind of slavish to me, guys.
I'm just, humans
like,
are definitely.
we got a good owner. You know, he lets us eat. Like he lets us sit at the table with massa.
Okay. Maybe you're right.
Like
okay, maybe you're right. But at least house slavish.
You see my skin tone? I'm not a house slave, bro. I'm on the fucking field,
This is the best slave owner because he does the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you would go out there and do the work. He'd be like, these motherfuckers can't pick cotton at all. Please go inside. Let me do this. Enjoy the water. You know what I mean? He's going, let's go, robots.
There's food in a bowl for you.
Exactly, yeah. Yo, can I eat this at the table? However you would like to eat it. It doesn't really matter.
Just sit and you get a treat. That's all right.
It's not bad. That's
Other
not
thing
bad.
you brought up though is you could upload your consciousness onto a robot and live forever, and that scared the fuck out of me. Like, what does that even mean? Like, you just got a robot body?
We trying to get past racism. How we gonna get past racism when we got consciousness from the 1800s still living around in a fucking robot body? You know what I mean?
Nobody learned anything from Get Out. Like, you can't just put slave owner brains into black people's bodies and think shit's just gonna work out.
Just talking about slave owners.
I'm just saying, bro.
Just imagine
like,
you at the park and then a fucking 1800 robot comes walking up and goes, excuse me, what color water fountain are you drinking out of? What is going on in the world today?
Oh man, it's like fucking Captain America when he got unfrozen and saw like
the Times Square.
He's like, what was that?
Wait, did that happen in the scene? Did he have like
that? It was like subtle. It was super subtle, but they didn't like. If I remember it correctly, it's in gosh, I think he runs in the Falcon. He runs the Black Falcon, who's played by Papa Doc from 8 Mile. I forgot
Anthony
his name.
Mackie.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah,
there you go.
He's a beast.
And then he says something slick to him. He's like, "Told you," and like he paid him like $50. I think he went to like it was something super duper slick to like play to the fact that like black people are allowed to like do these type of things now.
Yeah.
And then Captain America's like, "Okay, all right." And then somebody go, somebody please pick up that scene for me. Like I know I saw this. I think
it's great. Call out the commentary.
Winter Soldier. I think this is the Winter Soldier. But oh man, it was hilarious. Hilarious to me.
Hilarious. Let's talk about this, Chappelle.
Yes.
Bruh. Let's talk about this. And I'm proud that we were able to wait a day because we're recording this Wednesday. We recorded Flagrant 2 Tuesday. And y'all had both seen it.
No, I hadn't. I saw it last night.
Oh.
I'd seen it.
You'd seen it.
And Cass said watch it.
Oh,
and I was hearing great things. And that's why I hit you up like, yo, we should watch this and talk about it tomorrow.
Okay, then you said let's talk about it tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Akaash?
My man might be the GOAT, man. He might be the GOAT. He coming after Pryor. The only other guy I can remember in the history of comedy that could do that is Pryor.
Do what? What
just
is the...
kind of his seconds. I haven't finished Bird Revelations. I started it, but what he's doing.
So the first one we're talking about is
Equanimity. I think
Equanimity. There you go.
It's a masterpiece.
Sound like an Outcast song.
I was about to say, I'm like Equanimity.
Yeah, what is happening right here? Where Andre at?
God damn it.
And I looked at
that word was tough because he broke it down per syllable.
Yeah.
He was like, if I leave this shit like that, they ain't gonna understand this fucking word. Yeah.
I mean, I almost want to let y'all talk first because I don't have like collected thoughts on just how dope I thought it was. I thought it was a fucking masterpiece.
Dog, here's the thing. Right?
Kaz, go.
I'm just been a long time just fan of stand up and just the way like not just a fan of stand up but like I'm a fan of the manipulation of emotions. Yeah, right. Great. So it's like when I saw the first Chappelle stand up that he did for Netflix, like the first two, you kind of got the feeling that he was holding back a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Testing the water,
he was testing the waters because he knew it's been over 12 years since his last stand up, since Chappelle's show, since all this type of stuff, and he was still kind of testing the waters, and he was saying stuff that he knew was going to be offensive, but like he also had like kind of the presence of mind to know people are going to like try and cancel Dave Chappelle because it's like he wasn't always kind of offensive, but wrapped it in a way that made you think. You know what I'm saying? It's the same dude that did the black white supremacists and fucking the nigger family and like all this other shit. And it's like it's never just over the head offensive just to be offensive. There's always something wrapped in it, right? So I feel like he took the entire first two segments and you can't really appreciate equanimity without watching those first 2 segments, especially the stuff that he said about transgender people and like, and everything that he, you know, his feelings towards it. And the fact that
you mean segments, just to clarify, you mean the first 2 specials he did?
The first 2 specials he did for Netflix this year.
Equanimity or whatever.
The Age of Spin and then like Deep in the Heart of Texas, I think they were called.
Yeah. So equanimity. Equanimity. Does anybody know what that means? Can we get a Google?
Yeah, I looked it up. It's like showing calm even in the face of extreme like chaos or whatever, and which is a great fucking title.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm glad you looked
wish
that
you
up,
just called it showing calm in the face of chaos. But equanimity.
Yeah.
What you mean is equanimity is a response to the 2 previous stand-up
It's a stand-up
specials.
about his stand-ups.
Sorry, a response to the reaction to his 2 previous stand-up specials. Okay.
Yeah. And just the way that I think the one thing I really took away from it was I wish I could be as self-aware as he is.
It's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal how self-aware he is about. Like, he came out the gate like, yo, I know I'm dope, and you know, I'm not trying to big myself up. But like, I know I'm good at this. Like, sometimes I just put punchlines out there. I'll tell you the punchline. I'll just pick it out, and and he does it throughout the entire fucking special.
Yeah,
and just the way that he mixes in slapstick funny shit, thinking funny shit, and then he takes a good 15 to 20 minutes to talk about Trump and his effect and like the boomerang effect of living in such negative times and how we've always kind of like, it's always been like, you know, a reverberation of, okay, it's really bad now, but you know, and comparing it to Emmett Till,
every generation is a reflection of the last.
Exactly.
Just like every job is a reflection of the last, just like every girlfriend is a reflection of the last.
Exactly.
You have a really bossy girlfriend, your new one is the most open and calm and relaxed. And he kind of makes that a similar connection with, you know, what's happening with Trump. You know what I mean? It's like, is this guy Trump actually bringing us all together? Is this guy making us more united? You know,
he's like, I've never felt more American than we just get together and just hate on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And like, he compared it to the Emmett Till situation, how something so awful could create.
That was beautiful.
Like,
that was fucking beautiful.
Like I was watching my girl, she was in tears watching it. Like, I was like, this is fucking amazing. I'm like, is this his best one? This might be his best one. And for a guy who's already had like classic stand-up shit, it's crazy that he's managed to like possibly top himself. Yeah. Which is like, I'm like, he's got to be in the GOAT conversation.
Oh,
like top.
I think
he might be there. Like, he might have solidified himself right there.
So I just loved hearing the word bitch again. Like, it'd been years since I heard a special where like women were exclusively referred to as bitch. And not in an angry way at all, but like a girl would say something from the audience, he was like, bitch, I don't want to get herpes. But it was just a fun, kind of colloquial, conversational way of saying it. Let's not get too like, I remember Cat Williams would say it all the time. And when Cat said, you weren't like, oh my God, the patriarchy is taking advantage of me, and what can I do?
They won't say anything about black people.
They won't say, who is the liberal white goat, they won't. All I'm saying is like, it just felt funny and it felt conversational. It didn't feel like PC, if you will, or like sometimes we say the word bitch, and it has nothing to do with you or holding you back or not wanting you to vote or not wanting you to make the same amount as we. It's just sometimes that shit feel good.
It's a word, bro.
Yeah, it's just like when you guys say fuck boy, like finally women, you got a word that was equivalent to bitch. You put it on t-shirts and shit like that. You're proud of it. We don't wear bitch on t-shirt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody goes, I drink bitch tears for breakfast or wherever your stupid shirts are. Right? It's just fun.
That should be our
But
merch.
if we had it would be like, yo, fam, are you good? Like, you hate women, G? Why would you want to make women cry? Bitch tears.
Bitch it is my favorite cuss word. Oh, fucking everything is bitch.
It's foul.
Yo,
Akaash, you got a good bitch.
Bitch.
You got a good bitch. Akaash, not everybody got a good bitch, but Akaash got a good bitch, bro.
I thought actually The Age of Spin was a fucking masterpiece also. Like, I remember saying to you, and I had the same feeling watching Equanimity.
Yeah.
I am inspired and intimidated by it at the same time because it's inspirational to watch someone be this good at stand-up. Yeah. At the same time, this is the first time I've ever watched a stand-up and thought to myself, no matter how hard I work, I don't think I can get there. Which is that's tough for me to admit because as a man, you're like, fuck that, I do whatever I want to. Yep. Man, I was watching this dude, I was like, I don't think I'm that smart, and I think Equanimity, is a flex. Everything, even the title, is look how smart I am.
Yeah.
Here's a word you got to look the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And I think this could be like an important special. I think we needed Dave to be this Dave right now. Because I remember when Patrice died, who's our favorite.
Yeah.
I said, man, we needed Patrice to fight this PC, like, overwhelming PC shit that we're facing.
Yeah, it's like we needed Jon Stewart in a weird way. I was never like a huge Jon fan, but like to talk about the political climate. Like, I think he would have been fair.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
And I think Chappelle comes at a time, and you're watching the greatest ever, probably, to do that, to take on this PC thing. And that helps in, like, stemming the tide of just watch everything you say. Because I looked at the top tweets just to see, and there's definitely some outrage, and, like, literally people are like, you should kill him for saying this. But most of the top tweets are going at everybody who's offended.
Well, yeah, he did a great job of shaming offense.
Which is amazing.
You know what I mean? And it's something that I think, on Brilliant Idiots, and we've done and definitely curated within our family over here, La Familia Idiota, is this idea of like, just because you feel something doesn't mean it's justified. You know what I mean? ISIS feels a way. That don't mean that it's okay.
Right.
We were.
I had to pause a little bit because that's my girlfriend's name. I was like, shit. I was like, what do you know?
Yeah, ISIS feelings don't matter. Fuck ISIS, bro.
That's funny. You love that when ISIS in the news, huh? We gotta take down ISIS, and you'd be like, we do have to take down ISIS, man. I've been saying this shit for a year and a half right now.
Out of control. They got too much power.
ISIS wants to expand the caliphate. She is moving in. What the hell is happening with my girl?
Fucking ISIS. This bitch. I mean, those motherfuckers.
Yo, my God. Cass, that is hilarious. Cass takes out all his relationship shit.
Man, I'm like, let's start on CNN. Let's see what's
the one thing he likes about Trump is how he goes at ISIS. We need to keep ISIS at bay. Damn right, we need to keep ISIS at bay. We need to get ISIS out of Syria, and we need to get ISIS out of Harlem. ISIS in Harlem all the time. That's a problem. Got her stuff in storage. Why you need to have your stuff in storage for, ISIS?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my God. I'm not touching that one.
Yo,
all right. Yeah. I'm nuts.
They don't believe in freedom. No, they don't believe in freedom.
I'm going to catch so much shit. I'm sorry.
They hate our freedom.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Here's something you'll never hear us say again. We love you, ISIS.
Oh, my God.
So I'm watching this special yesterday, and I think Dave is the best public speaker ever.
He might be.
It's outside of just like, Tony Robbins, great, but also there's like a goofy aspect to him. But I think I'm watching this and I'm going, am I laughing every 2 seconds? Like maybe I would laugh during like a Bill Burr special or Patrice. No. But I am so enthralled, engaged, connected. You know how hard it is to watch something and not look at my phone?
Bro, my phone is on the floor the whole time.
I didn't even care.
Yeah.
I didn't even care. I'm sitting there. I'm so fucking engaged. And he's so incredible at speaking that the jokes become icing on the cake. The story that he's telling is engaging. And then when he makes you laugh, you're like, oh, that's a little extra.
Yeah.
But he's flipped stand-up because stand-up in a lot of ways used to be, hey, the premise is okay, but... oh, you reward me for listening with this laugh. Oh, thank you very much. No, the reward is while you're listening to the story. The laugh is fucking extra.
You're listening to one of the greatest minds.
Dog, if
Just
you and
brilliant.
And you know what's beautiful about that? If that's what you took from that one, wait till you watch the second one.
It's
the second one is like a fucking TED Talk, dog.
Word.
It's like it's laughs sprinkled in, but like you could tell it wasn't prepared. He's just on a stool sitting talking with people.
Because that's what I like. I mean, we're in a shit talking business. You know what I mean? Like this is what we do, right?
Yeah.
With Flagrant 2, with Brilliant Idiots, with podcasts in general, this is what we do. And so I love high quality shit talk, and I think that was one of the reasons why maybe myself and Akaash, we were so drawn to Patrice O'Neal early on. Like I would listen to Patrice's specials and I would laugh, but a lot of times they were extended, just like Chappelle, there are extended moments of no laughter, but just brilliant ideas. And touching on, like you said, self-awareness, things that like I felt but didn't know how to describe.
Like we was talking about like cheating and stuff like that. And
all,
like,
all these things. So it's like, he's just, I think he was so brilliant. There was one issue I had with the special. And it was one, it was when he was doing the trans stuff, and I feel like he had one cop out. And it was when he was like, I think the reason why we're so accepting of trans is because they're white males.
I don't think it's a cop-out. I see where he's going.
Let me just say why I think it is. And I know I'm a white guy, so it doesn't matter what I say. You know, just assume that I have no racial stake in this whatsoever. And I'll tell you why I thought it's a cop-out. Because you have to make the decision whether white males are racist, tiki torching, holding guys, or whether white males are or progressive, fight for your right to do whatever you want with your body. Because if we're all bad racists, uphold the patriarchy motherfuckers, then we also would, quote unquote, white males would also hate the trans community. They wouldn't be fighting for their rights. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to make the decision. Are all white people racist? Well, he didn't exactly say that, but he called the poor whites or whatever like that. But like if white people are racist, then that's your point. Be consistent, stick with it. But don't just go, oh, now white people are racist and they hate black people and they hate everybody else, but they love trans. Like that doesn't work. Those teachers.
Well, he wasn't really saying all white people are racist. He did specifically say the poor whites are my least favorite. That was his direct quote. Right?
I just meant like his argument was the reason why trans is an issue and we're worried about their feelings. He goes, nobody ever asks about black people's feelings or other minorities' feelings or women's feelings. Now all of a sudden we care about how trans people feel inside. He goes, I think it's because they're white males. White males don't give a fuck.
There was a big, not even was, there still was a very big, transgender community that was rooted in minorities and black people and stuff like that. And there was never a time that, in all these years, I think what he was trying to say was yo, why now? Why now to all these times when it was once it's a prominent white man that needs acceptance, I guess, or we have to kind of overthink about this stuff. It's by proxy, minority transgender people will be like, oh, okay, yeah, finally, let's do that. But when you really think about it, it's why is now the time?
I think it's just the time of having to accept everything. Otherwise, you are branded as a bigot of some kind.
Agreed. Now, I guess what I'm trying to understand is where that comes from. He chalked it up to white males are trans, and now all of a sudden we're going to accept all that in the special, right? He goes, we have to accept trans people's feelings. Again, the premise was, why do we care about these people's feelings all of a sudden? America never cared about anybody's feelings. He goes, I can't help but think it's because it's affecting white men now, right?
Right.
If you were talking about conservative whites, the thing that they care less about than anything are feelings.
Yeah.
If conservative whites, I think feelings are unimportant.
To your point, I think he even said white tiki torching holder. Those guys don't give a fuck. If one of them is trans, they out. They out. No torch.
They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Though having a tiki torch party could be the most LGBT friendly type of party. Hey, you guys want to get the Hawaiian theme going? Yeah.
Mosquitoes will be away.
It'll be great. We'll throw on Mona, have some little souffle. I don't know what you eat with that. Pineapples, some poke bowls. Anyway, I guess that was the one. That was the. I guess that was the one thing where I thought it was. It's very easy. I've noticed in comedy, and I see a lot of women do this in comedy, where it's just white male, is the punchline.
I got a thing with.
Anytime you just go white male, the audience is going to agree because as a society, we're conditioned to go, that's the bad guy, so you have to laugh at the joke.
I got to really sort through my feelings because Me Too has made me reconsider some things. But before, when white women would talk about white men, I'd be like, bitch, what are you talking about? What are you excluded from? You can't get the promotion. Black men can't get the job. So just think about it a little bit. What the level of complaining is.
I mean, to be fair, there is a level of, one thing that could really fix that whole thing is, in the corporate world, people are very tight about how much they make because, not only does that fuck up what corporations think on how they could pay them, but if everybody knew how much certain people were getting paid, you know what I'm saying? That would, it would really let people know just how much the discrepancy is from men and women, you know, and that is a real thing. That is a real thing that like a lot of people that don't understand that, you know, especially if I'm running a company and like, yeah, I'll hire the women. Yeah, I'll do this. But, you know, they understand that there's a lot of other things that come with it that is opposed to hiring a man. And on top of that, the reason why they keep those salary questions like it's so taboo to just talk about how much you make with your coworkers, because if they all knew, that's a negotiation tactic.
Yeah.
And that puts the pressure on corporations to be like, okay, if you're paying X amount, this many, and I'm getting like $40,000 less, and I do more than this person, then what's that? How's that fair? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like that's definitely a real thing that happens.
I know it happens.
But that's why I believe it doesn't happen.
Why?
Because like what business doesn't, let's assume that women can do the same job as men. Right? Let's say in a corporate setting. We're not talking about like laying bricks. Okay. But in a corporate setting they could do the same job as men. What business doesn't want to save money? Like if a woman could do the same job as men and you pay them 30% less, you're going to only hire women. They must not be making less, or they must not be doing the job the same. Now, because my one thing is look at, like, if you look at who's doing the yard work, right? Who's mowing your lawn, who's cutting your flowers and shit like that, it's dudes who do get paid less.
Yeah.
They're working, or illegal immigrants, and they are 90% of that workforce, maybe 100% of that workforce, right?
Yeah.
So if women are getting paid 30% less, they would, for the same exact job, if not better jobs, they would be the entire corporate workforce.
So from what I understand, the studies of pay discrepancy are men make overall more money than women. For the same job, that doesn't really hold up the same. Like 78 cents a dollar, whatever it is. Yeah. But I will say this, I have heard female friends say, I made less than my white male coworkers, and then they quit and got another job, and that job lost out. And that's kind of the beauty of capitalism, is if a company is stupid enough to do that, you get to leave, go get another job, and then they are fucking themselves.
They get screwed over.
Suffer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
the question isn't whether they make less or whether they make more.
Right.
It's, is it due to sexism? That's where people get things conflated.
But that's things you can't really prove.
I think that exists.
And that's hard to...
And that's hard on both sides, too, because one, that's something you really can't prove.
Right.
And two, a lot of companies won't even touch that. So even like, if it's something I can't prove, fuck it, we'll just do away with it. We'll just like, that's why people will lose shit for allegations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they'd rather just not deal with that situation.
You can't even pay a woman less if she's worth less, because the allegation will get your business in trouble. Like, let's say a woman isn't as good at her job.
Yeah, but this is the thing,
right?
Like,
you can't even pay her.
You need to have concrete proof that like, you know, some person brings more to the table than another person, and if you can't, like, that's your ass. Like, that is your ass, and it doesn't matter. Like, and that's just kind of the world we live in right now, where it's like, an allegation is good enough to ruin you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a stat that really kind of opened my mind to this discussion about there's a difference between like just being paid less and being paid less because of sexism, right? And we got to not get too worried about, or not get too influenced by like a statistic where, for example, like 90% of the people that go to jail are men. Now, is that because the justice system is sexist?
No.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
For one, there's just more men. Well, there's more men that just commit crimes.
So you're saying men are making decisions that help them make more money? Is that what you're saying? I mean, that make them go to jail?
I have no idea what I'm saying.
Excuse me. Did I get those conflated? The same thing with like college. For example, 60% of the people that go to college, I'm sure you guys know, are women. The majority. Now, is that because college acceptance is sexist? No. Women just might have better grades.
So to that point, Google did a study. I talked to this lady who's the head of diversity at Dropbox.
Right.
Black lady beast.
Yeah.
And she explained to us a study that Google did about like, why are men getting promoted at a higher rate than women?
Yeah.
And what they realized is when both people applied, when a male and a woman applied, they had the same rate of getting the promotion. Men were just more likely to apply because if a job said, I need 10 things, a woman wouldn't feel confident applying without all 10 of those things.
Right.
A man could have 6 of them and say, fuck it, I'll apply. And then they end up getting the job a lot. Because men are wired like, we are the hunters. We ask girls out. We DM girls. Like, we are the ones that do.
We've been lying on our resume.
This ain't
That's
new
our
to us.
MOs.
Trying to bat out of
You
our
live with
league.
your parents? No.
Hell yeah.
They live with me.
The goal of every man is to outkick your coverage. That's what you try to do. Constantly.
Facts.
So let me throw that job application in there. I got no business getting it. Fuck it.
So this is a perfect example of like how being honest actually will help women get a job more than being politically correct.
Right.
Right? Because if you look at that study honestly and you say, hey, ladies, if you ask for the promotion more, you'll end up getting the promotion. Right?
Right.
Because that's what men seem to be doing. They just seem to ask for it more.
And that's how we empower women. That's
how you empower them. Tell them what to do. Yeah.
It's okay to fail. Go for it.
No,
I'm
not denying sexism in the workplace.
Right.
You know, my mom was in, dance, she danced for years, 3-time U.S. ballroom dance champion. And then when she stopped competing, she explained to me that it was wildly sexist. Like, women would never get asked to be judges. Women would never get asked to like train classes or run these certain sessions. It was always the men, and what she did with that is she said, you know what, fuck it, I'm not buying into this system. I'm going to go start my own business. And she did that, and she became wildly successful because of it. So I'm not trying to say sexism doesn't exist. Of course it does.
Right.
But there's no way that you overcome it within the field unless you acknowledge the reality of the matter.
Right.
Or you're going to have to leave the field like my mom did. It's up to you.
And tying it back to Chappelle, I think seeing the greatest comedian probably ever do that, like, kind of move these discussions forward and just tell everybody, hey, let's just think.
Yeah.
I think is huge for not like the hip hop culture. I mean, U.S. culture.
Just Americans.
And when he said, like, we could disagree. Like, it's such a huge...
I think that's the most beautiful thing about it, because I think those words coming out of any other comedian, like, they're immediately... it's they got to send out what's the word? They got to send out statements like, well, for those offended. Yeah. Dave is the type of person's like, bro, like, he was talking about, like, I was wrong once. Remember, I went to Africa for 12 years and I told you guys, Hollywood was fucked up. Y'all didn't believe me then. You know what I'm saying? This is the second stand up. You got to watch the second.
Right.
So it's like, dog, he's the type of person where it's like, bro, he's eating everything Hollywood has had to eat. Like, those words coming out of anybody else does not mean as much as it does coming out of him. If you know this guy's history and his story and like what he's given up. Like, he told $50 million, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
And he went and got it back.
And he went and got it back.
Got more.
You know what I'm saying? He got more. And it's just like, dude, like, if there's anybody that could take on that battle of sensitivity and,
he's brilliant in it. Because he doesn't alienate.
And here's what those people don't see.
Yeah.
He was an ally of theirs 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And now for him to flip so hard, they think he stayed the same and they evolved. No, you went too far, and he's the only one that objective enough to say, yo, that's enough.
This has been my whole issue, and this is what people paint. It's like, people have asked me, they're like, because I grew up, classic Clinton, Democrat, left, liberal, New York. And people are like, oh, have you become more conservative? Are you on the right now? It's like, no, y'all went left.
Yeah.
When I grew up, it was different.
Right.
Being a liberal was a completely different thing than it is now. So I'm more to the center like I've always been. Maybe even more so. Maybe I'm more objective.
I think you're louder, and this is how I was when I first moved to New York, because I had never dealt with stupid liberals. Yeah. I dealt with stupid conservatives, and I hated them.
Because Akaash grew up in Texas.
I grew up in Texas.
Yeah.
Then I moved to New York, started dealing with extreme liberals, and then I started yelling at them way more, because it's just irritating on either side to deal with it. So I think you're reactionary.
You yell back at what you hear.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't hear
so I
the
think
crazy...
it comes across like you're right, but in reality, you're just yelling at the extreme left because they're louder right now.
They're louder, and also, like, I feel, I don't know, maybe this is, what's it called to say, but, like, I feel like we maybe it's because I grew up in New York, but we know the extreme right is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
it's more obvious to me.
Right.
Like, if you're shooting up a fucking abortion clinic, like, it's obvious to me that you're wrong.
Right.
The left believes that they're right.
Yeah.
Like, the woman who's fucking a roller coaster believes there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And there are people on the left that will defend her right to fall in love with a roller coaster.
I just believe, like, there's certain places in this country that are better sample sizes of what this country should be than, not I don't think Texas is one of those places. Like, it's not a very diverse place. There's not many places in the world as
Hold
diverse.
up on the Texas slander.
No Texas slander.
God bless Texas.
God bless Texas and all that. I love Houston. I love Papadoe and all that stuff. But New York is so diverse that I feel like we have just as good enough a sample size to represent as many diverse people as there is in this country. Yep. So when you get to a point where, all right, well, I can't really side with the right because, like, I've seen extreme right in New York. I've seen extreme left in New York. I've seen when you go to Texas, when you go to certain parts of Texas, it's just extreme right.
Hell yeah,
and that's fucking it.
So,
like,
I'll say this. I've heard a lot of times often people say black people are not a monolith, meaning don't think that we're all the same thing. And America's not a monolith.
No,
like I traveled a country doing stand up. And I'm telling you, you could go into the most, conservative parts of Texas, and you're going to find people who have similar ideology as you, no matter where the fuck you go. You know what I mean? Like Alabama voted a Democratic, a senator.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Like barely, and the other guy was like...
The other guy had to fuck little girls to do it, but still, like, there's enough people in there that were like, okay, this is the right decision to make. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm not writing from doing stand-up all across the country. I'm not writing off any state. I'm not writing off any group of people because I've found these people, genuine, objective people on both sides, conservative and Democrats, found genuinely objective people no matter where I've gone. That's just me. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I grew up in the South. I've been to, like, the heart of Texas, like racist towns in Texas, and you dealt with a little bit of that, and that always sticks with you more, just like the negative tweet sticks with you more. But in reality, a lot of people were just good people.
I thought that's what Dave did really well in the special. Is like, this motherfucker, like, I stay alienating people in my shit.
Right.
When I do stand up, if I have a point of view, I just, hey man, this is not for y'all.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But Dave would have a point of view on trans people and then find a way to bring trans people into the joke and have them all on the same page in the joke. And that's a testament to, like, what he does structurally in stand-up. Like, as a stand-up I'm watching, Dave's punchline is never about the premise.
Yeah.
And that's how he doesn't alienate. Right? The premise is something that's like
it's very divisive.
Visceral, divisive, but then the punchline is always, I was titty fucking.
It's usually him. He'll usually eat it.
It's him, or he creates a fictional characters, right? He creates fictional characters that are cartoonish so that the joke doesn't really have that much weight. Yeah. Chris Rock operates in reality, right? It's, hey, boom, this person is sucking this person. Hillary is sucking Bill's dick in the joke. You know what I mean? Chappelle would not operate in that reality. Yeah. He'll have... the joke about the monkey, you don't fuck a monkey on a chimpanzee on Tuesday, and then Charlene on Wednesday, and then he does the whole thing about, how long
Peel a banana,
how long it took me to train this monkey to suck my dick without peeling it. But, like, that's cartoonish, right? No matter how you feel about that premise, you can laugh at the silliness of the joke. And I think that's kind of why he's so effective at bringing everybody in, is because the funny part ain't that serious.
Yeah. No, you know what else I was impressed with? I'll say a couple more things,
His biceps?
No, this is actually I'm concerned a little bit with, like, his voice is so fucked from smoking. And he just keeps drinking. And the people around him, for the good of comedy, I hope would just be like, yo, slow this down. Because I feel like he got some enablers around him, and that concerns me.
Oh, absolutely. I never seen Dave sober.
Yeah, and especially recently. In the past, like, 6-7 years, you never see him sober. You never see him not chain smoking. And it's just, I don't know how much... We have the greatest comedian ever right here, right now. Let's just keep him around for a while.
For a little bit.
I mean, it's interesting, like, how people are that smart and also that stupid.
Well, he's just tortured, I think.
Yeah.
So you think it's self-medicating?
I think, yeah.
Because he must know the cost.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a price to pay to have your mind work that, like, have that much brain function. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to slow it down somehow. Like, you got to, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a fucking Ferrari,
what he says about that.
Oh, is
he goes. You know how they say ignorance is bliss? He goes, being a comedian is the opposite of that.
because you know everything.
Yeah.
Imagine constantly be thinking about how you feel in every moment.
Yeah.
It's like a fight with your girl.
Yeah.
You know, like a conversation with your girl about your feelings. That's exhausting.
It's draining,
But
bro.
at the end of it, you're like, yo,
Yeah.
I need a smoke and drink.
It's all the time.
That's Chappelle's morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
God, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, if you have a Ferrari, you can't drive the Ferrari 300 miles all the time.
You're going to burn it out.
You're going to burn it out, dog.
Yeah.
Like, there's something that I got to do to slow this thing down, you know? And that's probably what it feels like to have a mind like that, you know? Like I said, the reason why I love stand-up, I'm such a fan of it, is because it's literally just the manipulation of emotion.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, to have the knowledge of emotion is to take in as much emotion as possible and see where people are coming from different sides of the coin. So it's like, when you see that shit at work and you see somebody so good at it, it's gotta be exhausting. So you gotta smoke and drink all the time, just because it's the simplest thing you can get to just calm you the fuck down.
Everybody got to have their release, man.
Yeah.
It's like with Jordan. People always criticize Jordan for gambling, and I never saw it as something. I never saw it as something destructive. I saw it as something medicative.
Yeah.
Like, this guy was so intensely competitive.
He was the most competitive
human being
motherfucker probably ever.
Maybe Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Maybe Napoleon.
You
know what I'm saying? One of these motherfuckers. Because Napoleon wasn't 6'6". If he was 6'6", maybe there's no
cool.
way. It'd be relaxed. But like, to have that intensity going on your day constantly, how am I going to defeat these people, the mental warfare, etc. Maybe gambling excessive amounts of money gave him the break that we get from playing ball.
Probably.
Or we get from just, you know, watching a movie or something. Maybe he needs that high stakes. And real talk, it ain't that bad. Like, girls go, I need retail therapy. When you go out and buy a bag, there's not a chance you could win $1 million.
It's only a problem when you have a lot to lose. And that's why people worried about Mike, because it's like, he is so infinitely wealthy that it's like, well, if he's doing this much, when does it become a problem?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he could gamble away like 40 times my life savings and not even fucking blink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, so
drop a new colorway.
Yeah,
I just lost 10 million.
When does that become a problem eventually? So when it does, I guess that's when you worry about him. So I guess that's probably why he kept coming out of retirement. It's probably why, you know, when he could have just sat at home and been like, yo, I'm the greatest ever. I'm good. Like, that's why you see Michael on the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see him as an owner and like in the GM and all this type of shit. Like, competitive, like that type of competitiveness, and not just competitiveness, any type of personality trait that makes you that intense.
Yeah.
At some point becomes like sort of a sickness.
Yeah, do you ever read
there's a cost.
Yeah, there's a cost to it.
Wright Thompson did an article, Michael Jordan at 50, and he talked about how competitive he was on like
with the
like Sudoku or something.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's like, it's like I asked God for this incredible gift, and now that I don't need it anymore, it's like it's.
No, he would make bets on whose luggage would come out of the baggage claim first, and he would go and pay the baggage claim people
to get his shit
out first, just so he would win the bets.
Did you hear the story?
He's mental, dog.
Did you hear the story, Chris? Were you the one that told me the story about Jordan, or was I was reading? There's a story about Jordan Oh, yeah. When they were, it was Jordan rides the bus or something like that.
Yeah.
There was a race of mascots. Mascots would race.
The sausage race.
It was, but a sausage race is, I think, in Philly or something like that.
Yeah, they're all dressed up as sausages and run around the baseball field and shit.
So it happens in Milwaukee, whatever. But like, it was something like that in it was basketball or baseball. I forget exactly what it was. But essentially, there was this race. Right? Or maybe it was a game that they would play at halftime. I don't know exactly what it was. And where they were like, which cup is the ball going to be in? Or who's going to win the race around the stadium, et cetera, like that. And it was against Pippen. And what Jordan did is he spoke to the halftime entertainment guy and he found out which ball would win every single time. And he bet Pippen for like a season. And every game he would beat Pippen. And Pippen's just
know what to do.
He's not asking at all, but that's the intense competitiveness,
That's why he
right?
took Larson back, his dumb ass questions. over here. Just believing everything, gullible ass.
Bro. Anyway, there's a social cost to greatness.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's a great person that's ever haven't dealt with some sort of demons, you know. You just wish that he has demons that didn't develop, you know, into cancer and fucking liver problems.
But you never know, man. Maybe he's one of those people that are just like anomalies. Like, I know motherfuckers that have smoked for like 50 years, lived to their 80. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and he also,
but he is black though, so
he's hilarious.
It's kind of behind the 8 ball on that. It's possible.
He's putting out 2 specials a year too. Like, remember everybody was on Louis' dick for 1 special a year?
Yeah.
He's putting out 2 specials a year, so we might have 30 specials before.
Bro, it's insane. And Louis experienced some fatigue in his specials, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You know, he came out with heat, and then all of a sudden it was like, is he just putting these out? What's going on? Chappelle speaks the language of comedy fluently.
Better than anyone in history.
He's not writing songs.
Yeah.
He speaks music.
Yeah.
He's Shakespeare of the language of comedy.
That's it. It's like
the closest thing I can compare it to is like watching like Jay-Z freestyle.
That's it. It's
like
one take in the booth, boom.
Yeah, like he gets in the booth and like he just hums, boom, got it.
And motherfuckers like, how can
How do
Jay-Z
you do
do it? You work that muscle, yo. And it's one of those things where like, as somebody who's in this field, I start going, and what hit me was I was watching this little thing about this guy in Singapore that we actually ate at. There's a guy who has a little chicken and rice stand in a market in Singapore that has a Michelin star. And they did a little feature on this guy. $1.50.
Little
for
satays.
chicken and rice. No, not satays. It was a chicken and rice. It was a chopped up piece of chicken breast.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And it got fucking Michelin starred, right? This is only the best restaurants in the world get a Michelin star. $1.50 Michelin star meal. And they asked him, he goes, you know, what did you want to do? How did you know you want to do this? He goes, well, I just wanted to do chicken and rice. And once I decided I wanted to do this chicken and rice, I decided I wanted to master it, which is the most Asian thing to say, right? Like Asians are always about mastery. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Like they want to master, you know,
shame upon my family.
Exactly. But on some real shit.
I was so racist. I'm sorry.
No, it's flagrant. We're flagrant out here. This is brilliant idiots. It's totally acceptable. Christians walked out the room. He has to support his Asian wife. But it was one of those things where I go, what am I doing to master this podcasting? What am I doing to master stand-up?
Right.
What am I should be studying public speakers outside of stand-up. Just little things that they do, techniques that they have. Like I should be doing what Jordan would do when he started to play baseball. I'm going to break down the swing and learn everything about the swing. How can I take this more seriously? How can I fucking master this shit? Because when I look at Chappelle, I'm not seeing someone who's trying.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm seeing someone who's being.
Yeah.
And it is a very it's intimidating but also beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's like it's watching anybody test the limits of their art is inspiring, no matter what it is. Like I'm appreciative of all types of like performance art, whether it's music, whether it's sports, whether it's comedy, whether it's wrestling, whether it's fighting. Like anytime you could test the limits of your greatness, that shit is inspiring as fuck. No matter what you do, if you push papers, if you flip the burgers at McDonald's, whatever. Like just watching somebody and just seeing how they can take something that they love and
master that shit,
master it, and not just master it, but expand the possibilities of it. Yeah, it's like, damn, like what am I doing? How can I get like that?
Yeah. You know how can I get better at what I do? Like, how can I stop chasing? One of the most fun things about earlier in your career is like you're not chasing a bag, you're chasing a craft. Yeah, and I think as we get older, there's a little bit more bag chasing, right? Because we have responsibilities and
got bills and shit.
Bills, you want to have children, you want to have these things, but like, there's something so pure about if we can remind ourselves to just be like, no, I gotta get back to chasing the craft. What am I doing for the craft today?
Yeah. That's what we all do early in our career. We just want to be good. We just want people to think we're good at it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's not until you get that first, not life-changing check, but like, oh, wow, I could make a living type of thing doing this.
Oh, the pressure of like, what's next check-wise is way more than what's first. What's my first check?
Because nothing was there.
Nothing was there. What's my next check? That's
stressful.
Yeah, because you get comfy.
Yeah.
I get, you know, going through this like independent contractor life.
Yeah.
I understand the value of a corporate job in a way that maybe a corporate person can't understand it. Like knowing you got that check every 2 weeks, knowing if the business folds, they still gonna pay you. You know what I mean? Like there's a comfort to that.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in this independent and contractor life, there's a lot of benefits. I could go fly somewhere if I want. I could go to Israel for fucking 2 weeks and just do it. You know, I have benefits, but there's also, like you said, the anxiety of, okay, what's the next thing? What movie am I doing? What TV show am I doing? What are we creating? Grass is greener in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You just kind of never know. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. You know?
Facts.
Last thing, if I could say this about the Chappelle special, to anyone who's offended, you have the right to be offended at Dave Chappelle's special. But if you are, stand-up comedy is just not for you.
Yeah.
Because you will never see it done at a higher level than he is doing it at. So if you can't appreciate that, cool. You're not a bad person, but then just don't watch stand-up.
It's not for you.
It's not for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, listen.
Go watch Knock Knock Jokes.
Yeah. And for real, there's like certain people who are like, I can't watch horror movies. They make me feel bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, don't watch
horror movies. Wrong with you?
Yeah. Like, stand-up is not... Stand-up is... I can't even believe I'm saying this. It's not for the faint of heart. I thought it was for everybody. I really thought we could all appreciate, just laugh at things that are dark and fucked up. And some of you are not built for it. You know what I mean? And we call you cucks. That's how we refer to you people in society. You're a bunch of bitch-ass
stand-up
pussies.
comedians they're just modern day philosophers at the end of the day, man.
But give us low standards.
Just give super low standards. Like,
but maybe
don't hold them to the same.
Philosophers are all drunks and womanizers and losers. They're fucking
like nobody knows.
Get a job. We get paid.
Maybe there was just no funny back then.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like maybe just like because all these philosophers are from like unfunny places like Germany. You know what I mean? Like maybe they just didn't have humor just yet. Like Shakespeare was a philosopher, but like he was funny. Like his shit had jokes.
Like you ever watch like
maybe Socrates was hilarious back then. They just they had such a low bar.
They were too busy butt fucking in Greece. It's like what the fuck do I need to laugh at? I got boy butt.
Boys,
exactly.
I got this 12-year-old ass waiting on me right now, guys. You guys are fucking hurry up. Let's get this going.
The first Me Too was definitely in Greece.
For sure.
Without a doubt, I've always said this, but like they were like the first culture with plumbing and also the first culture to fuck assholes. And I think that there is a correlation between that. Like once they cleaned up the assholes,
not by accident.
Nah, bro.
What other pipes can we clean?
There was doo-doo. Now there's not doo-doo. It look cute. Okay, what's up? Let's go to war. Why you always want to go to war and build your boys? No, we got to expand empire.
Oh man.
Anyway, aren't we all plug some things and then get the fuck out of here? I think that we had a fun episode. Unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
I'm good, man. I ain't got nothing to plug.
I want to tell everybody that listens to Wester Bros, with the Wester Bros podcast. I do it with my boys we play basketball with. Shout out to Jack, Haney, and Marco. We're going to be doing a few apps, so I want you guys to, if you're interested, watch these films so that you can be prepared in TV shows. We're going to do Black Mirror because everybody's been hitting me up telling me to watch Black Mirror and do a Wester Bros review. Is it that good? All right, I'm going to watch. So we're going to watch it. We're going to do that one. We're going to do the recent Star Wars movie, and we're going to do Bright. So we'll have those three coming to you. So make sure you watch those now. Bright was fucking...
Loved Bright, though.
I'm such a... whatever. There's a lot of politics going into this Bright shit, and we spoke about on the podcast before, but like... Be skeptical when there is hate about... When there is like uniformed hate from critics and uniform love from people.
I said this on Twitter. Stay woke, man. Like there was a conscious decision
to hate on it.
To hate on this movie from big Hollywood. You know what I mean? And movie theaters. From theaters.
Because Hollywood don't give a fuck as long as someone buying the movie.
If a star like Will Smith is premiering feature films on Netflix and it's successful and it's critically acclaimed, that is super dangerous for movie theaters and it could put a lot of people out of work.
So if you're a guy who writes reviews for films and the pretty much only people who advertise on your site are movie theaters.
Yeah.
Right? Because why else would anything advertise? So do you really think it's in your best interest to write an objective piece?
To be fair, like it's like Bright wasn't like Citizen Kane or anything, but like people say this is the worst movie of all. I'm like, y'all bugging.
For not leaving your house.
Yeah.
And I mean this sincerely. I don't know another 2-hour film For not leaving your house, it's that good.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of made-for-TV shit.
Yeah.
But for not leaving your house...
Oh, the movie theater sucks, bro. Like, if you think about
bed bugs everywhere.
Like, it's gross in there. The food's overpriced. You can't bring your own food. Like, you can't get drunk in there. Like,
you know what movie theaters are starting to do? They're shifting the model to a Netflix model. They have a pass that's $10 a year. You can $10 a month. Yeah. You can go as much as you want to.
Yeah, do that and then make it in my house.
Exactly.
It's very simple. Exactly. Like, I don't want to go to you.
And then they got the reclining. You've seen some of these dope ass reclining seats.
There's a spot, iPick Theater in Soho. It's
and they bring you food.
They bring you good food too.
Like
you get
fully
booze
reclining
and shit. You can lay
chairs.
down, like,
you notice this? That's what any retail business is starting to transition into. Like, if you go to these fancier clothing stores, they got a coffee bar.
Yeah.
They got, Todd Snyder, shout out to Todd Snyder, my boy works over there, but they got a barber shop. They got a fucking
You got to make an experience.
Cafe. You have to make an experience because cats will just go online and order. They know their size.
That's what makes it so hilarious. Like, the funny shit is, it's like, the only reason why they're doing all this stuff is because we can do this shit at home.
That's it.
Of course.
And from the comfort of your own home in your drawers, like on your fucking laptop or your cell phone or something. Like, it's...
Shopping in brick and mortar is going to become a rich person thing.
Yeah.
It's going to become a real, like
unless you really need to like try shit on and shit. Like, nobody really gives a fuck.
I mean, the only reason I do is because I refuse to return anything. Like, I don't do it. I can't. I don't even know how. If I buy some shit and it's not my size, that's what I got.
Women are really good at that.
Bro, they'll order things just to return it.
Shit. I'm like, I'll wear it tonight and still return it tomorrow.
Oh, they keep the tag in.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, bro. Like, if I get it, it's mine.
That's how I know I'm getting pussy. If I see a girl got her tag still in her dress or something like that at the bar, it's like, oh, she needs this drink.
She needs this one.
That's some Indian shit. We keep the tags on forever. That shit wear 30 straight days and then take it back. It's within the refund window, right?
On the 30th?
Yeah, on the 30th day. Come get that credit.
Well, fair enough. Anyway, guys, thank you so much.
Last plug.
Oh, yeah, please.
Flagrant 2 live show.
Yes.
If you liked us, if you like this dynamic, we're doing a live show February 7th, New York City, the Highline Ballroom.
Let's sell that
Get your
bitch
tickets
out.
on TicketWeb.
Yes, sir.
Yo, make sure you get that shit. It's at Highline Ballroom, highlineballroom.com. You can get it. Same place that we had the Brilliant Idiots live show. It's going to be crazy. We're going to have some interesting guests. I can't give too much information on it, but it's going to be a very exciting live dynamic. If you've ever been to any of Kaz's live events, you know that they're quite lit, as the kids would say. So make sure you cop tickets for that. We got some cool things coming in the future. And listen to Flagrant 2 if you like what we talked about today. Man, we didn't talk about any sports today except for Jordan gambling.
Yeah.
So, but if you we do a very similar show where we just talk that shit on sports, and it's called Flagrant 2, and you can get that shit on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, all that. Thank you guys so much for supporting what we do. And if you think that we're a bunch of retards, you're absolutely right. And if you think that we're absolutely genius, then you're right too. This has been the Brilliant Idiots.